first of all, what I like to do is outline the process. So in the process, basically, we're going to verify all of the versions of each site or each domain name. And that kind of means that also, want to go through the HTTP : the HTTPS : HTTP : www, and the HTTPS : www versions. Those are actually 4 different versions. There actually could be really a lot more versions of the site, but you'll want to basically verify all those different versions in Google Search Console. First, what I would also like to do is if you have, obviously you're moving content from one domain name to another. So basically the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a backup of your website. Make sure that you have a good backup and that has and is probably saved probably on the server, and you can also download it and have it on a separate drive just for safekeeping. So actually what the next step would be to crawl the site. Basically you want to crawl the site entirely in using OnCrawl, and so I would include the Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Majestic data, as well as log file data, and that's going to give you all of those URLs. You want to find every single possible page that was ever on the website or URL on that site, because you'll need that later. You want to basically identify all of those, and that's from Google Analytics traffic, Google Search Console Search Analytics traffic, Majestic, for example. Basically you want to preserve all the links. That's extremely important. And then any log file data. Basically there could be old versions of the site that are out there that still have traffic, and so you want to actually redirect those as well. So you want to have all those URLs, and basically what you can do is then identify those and basically have one list of all the possible URLs. You'll need those later. So let's go ahead and set up the redirects. So basically once you've actually moved the content over, or if you're using actually the same, ideally, the same site, same server, that can be fine. This is a good time to potentially move to a different server or an upgraded server, so that you could also consider that as well. I basically want to set up the redirects from 301 permanent redirects, basically from the old domain name, to the new version of the new domain. So if you're using HTTP on the old site, you'll probably want to install a new certificate, SSL certificate, and as well as and move to the HTTPS version of the new site. So basically, what you would not want to do is you probably would not want to move from HTTP on one domain and then move over to the new domain HTTP and then do another migration from HTTP to HTTPS. Just move to the final version if you can. That's going to be the best option. So basically you want to set up those 301 permanent redirects from the old domain and all those to the new domain. Typically when I do this, I will have basically set up a new site, new hosting, and could be on the same server, but it would essentially be a new domain, and so you're going to move the content and import that and move it over, and then you're going to have the old domain still hosted with the htaccess file pointing the new redirects from the old domain to the new one. So basically what we're going to do is, once we've set that up and set up the redirects, and we're pretty comfortable that we've moved from one domain to the other, we have that list. And so basically that list of URLs, and what we can do is then run that through OnCrawl using the list of URLs feature, and basically crawl all those URLs and make sure that the redirects are actually showing up as 301 redirects. Once we have that in place, obviously, We want to use the Google change of address tool. So basically, since you have verified all those different versions of the site, you can officially tell Google that you're moving from one domain name to another. And if you have the setups, if you set up the redirects properly, Google will actually confirm it using that tool. And so you'll actually go in and log in to the actual old URL, the old domain, the old version. Tell Google that go to the change of address tool, put that in, and you're actually going to see them confirm. And you click a button, and it says whether it's set up properly. Don't forget to update your Google Analytics settings to the new domain name. And also, that's important, especially if you're going to want to keep any historical data in Google Analytics, and you'll need to add the URL in the Google Analytics settings. So crawl the site again. Go ahead and set up a new crawl on OnCrawl using the list you've previously created. Make sure that basically all those URLs are redirecting properly. Basically, at this point, you're going to want to keep all of those redirects in place for basically a long time or indefinitely. Typically, I don't really move or actually ever remove redirects from the old domain to the new one. I basically keep the old domain hosted. It doesn't require a lot of server space, but the redirects do need to be in place. And basically that ensures that any traffic or anything going to the old domain essentially will redirect to the new one. Again, thanks. This is Bill Hartzer, U.S. Brand Ambassador for OnCrawl, and we've been talking today about moving from one domain to another domain.